go again. In the bottom left side, we're looking at the main base of a young man that I like quite a bit. He streams every now and then. If you ever see him live, make sure to check him out because he's a cool dude. Hailing from Colombia, this is eGGz.
And spawning in the top right side, playing as our blue Zerg, it is Cham. You know, when I asked you what map name it was, I was close to calling it Eternal Palace, thinking that Eternal Palace was the correct name and Eternal Empire was the incorrect name again. Like, it's just one of those things that's going to stick with me forever.
I almost forgot about that gem that we created that day. Eternal Palace. Man, if they ever make an Eternal Palace, if any of the map makers are listening to us, please make an Eternal Palace and make it beautiful, but also make it very, very, very big so the Muslim can do his 2 base all-ins, and I'll be a very happy guy.
You know, I love how you're funneling me down this. He only plays 2 base all-ins. He never goes above 38 SCVs. He's predictable. Where did this come from, Kevin? I've never made fun of you for only making Phoenix the last 10 years of your life, you know?
Well, you did tease me for my triple stalker opening for the first 5 years of this game.
I mean, to be fair, that was ludicrous, because I remember you talking about it. You were like, man, if they make a bunker, the game's over. Like, I just lose. And I was like, Kevin, stop doing that strat then. And you kept on doing it for years and years and years and being really upset with people that made a bunker against you.
No, I don't know why, but lately, whenever I watch your stream, you take down names, man. I'll give you that. You take down some of Europe's finest. But then I always wonder how you're doing it. And you know, I really get going for some good old Muslim replay analysis. But the replays are so short these days, and that just makes me sad. I want to see you go in-depth for a 27-minute game, but they all end at the 7-minute mark. You pull a couple SCVs, and then by the time you have 3 bunkers up and a few tanks sieged up, then you throw down an eBay. And I'm like, no, the Muslim, hypocrite. You are never going to use that eBay, and I know it. So that's where it kind of comes from.
It is a good building for show, though, you know, like, lets them think a little, you know. But to be fair, Kev, most of my games, it's because they're trying to stop me from going ultra macro late game, you know, so I'm just holding them off. I'm holding the all in. Well, and then winning at the 7-minute mark.
Okay, we'll save this conversation for a rainy day, my friend. You know,
anyhow.
I bet that you forgot what a Ghost Academy looks like. I'll keep it at that at this point. Anyway, guys, here we go. eGGz between these 2 awesome players of the Latin American scene. Seen the Evo Chamber already go down for eGGz. What I can tell you guys about eGGz is that he is somebody who loves Zerglings. If you guys wonder, like, if you have to compare him to anyone, I'd say he's probably a fan of Raynor. Like, whenever I play against him, it's like, man, this kid makes so many links. Now, that could be something he just does against me, but I've watched his stream as well, and he does it against other Protoss players too. Now, we do have a Roach one go down as well, but Ben, that's 20 Zerglings already. That's a few more links than you normally see.
Yeah, I like then when you were talking about how much he loved Lings, then it immediately a Roach Warren goes down. It's like, yeah, he loves Lings, but he also seemingly loves Roaches. But no, I mean, like, this is a matchup where you absolutely, well, you have to incorporate Roaches at some point or in some of your play when it comes to ZVZ, just because they're such a good unit. But Kevin, you're right. He's pummeling out lots and lots of Lings.
No, the Queen's out of position, so now the Lings are going to be revealed. Cham immediately fires up defensive banings. What I'm most confused by is, like, why does he have so many Lings? Why does he then go for a lair? Is this like a Ling into Spire play, but with a complete fake Roach Warren? I don't really know what this is all about. What I do know is that those Queens were supposed to cap the base shot. Now, the other banes are not done yet, but now they do finish up. And eGGz is in trouble, man. He's down 8 workers, and now there are multiple defensive banelings. I believe this kid's micro is good, but can you really out-micro this many banes? I have a hard time believing that's the case.
He also went up to, like, 3 gases while Steel was doing this, which is a little unusual, you know? Like, is he going to go for, like, a Spire because he just hit Lair? I don't... And yes, he does. So, yeah, it's definitely unusual play. But Cham so far has done everything right. And he's also even eking out a few drones, which, if everything goes right for him, is absolutely the right move. And wow, so brazen, not getting out any Roaches so far. In fact, he didn't even have a Roach Warren up.
We see +1 melee now on the way for Cham, which I'm also a little surprised by after. Yeah, like he's getting a roach warren, but he's like, all right, if you make a lot of links with a roach warren, I'm gonna make a lot of links with a roach warren too. A couple of links tried to sneak into the natural, but they will be met by that defensive bailing there of Cham. I mean, X is absolutely still in this, and the fact that Cham still doesn't have a lair ban, like I wasn't concerned at first. Started to get a little bit concerned at this point.
Yeah, me too. And Cham threw down a second Evo when he's already got one Evo, right? Like, what's that? Wait, was that just to make a... Or is he going to utilize it for the armor upgrade? Or this is just... you know, the games in Latin America today, Kevin, they have been odd. They have been peculiar. And this is also an odd one.
That was also odd. Oh, there's a lot of Zerglings just ran into bailing, but hey, there's no Zerglings here. The Lings of Axe are going to try to get something done, but this is a tough fight as there are still defensive Zerglings. The Queens are helping out as well. Now Cham actually feels that maybe it's his time to get a cancel on that hatchery on the other side of the map. I think the Roaches of Axe are going to keep this safe, and when the Mudas are out, I mean... Yeah, he's down a couple of workers, Ben. He's down a lot of workers at this, but no, you can't let that hatchery go. I really think he needs to save this hatchery at all costs. If you lose the hatch, the game is over. Mudas are out, though. Maybe so. Time for some comeback plays.
Yeah, this game is very odd, Kevin. Like that second Evo that went up at Cham's third base, not as part of a wall or anything, but obviously hasn't utilized it yet. We now have Mudas on the field, which the Lings are kind of like noble sacrifices here or something. Okay, now they're running in, but all the Bailings have gone. He is getting a nice round on these Roaches, so might be able to deal with the third base, but one thing's for certain. He droned up like a madman behind all this. He's up to 65 drones against the 43 of eggs. Yeah. Economically, he's in beautiful shape.
Yep, and don't forget he's also getting an infestation pit already. The Hydra Den is down. Now X might get a cancel on this fourth hatchery. That's kind of nice, right? If you play Mudas, you want to keep it. But I almost have the feeling that X's Muda play was also a fake. Because now he's just building Mass Roach. Cham is kind of preparing for Mass Muda, so maybe this fake is working. You know what I love the most, man? Like this is deep StarCraft, okay? He made a Roach run early on, but that was a fake Roach run because he actually only made Zerglings. Then he made a Spire, which is kind of a fake Spire because now he's only making Roaches, which was the initial building he wasn't using, but already revealed. Underwater chest here by Eggs.
This is some mind games on top of mind games, and you know, like, he's not really droning at all. Like, this is very, very much going to be a massive Roach attack. It is a bizarre game, and we have Cham, who's just teching straight up to Hive while getting +2 melee.
No, I think he wants to get Vipers. He's worried that X shows up with 20 Mutalisk and he starts losing Hydras one by one. I kind of get that. So the fake Spire is working. Obviously, with Hive, you can also get the sick Lurker upgrades, right? Don't forget about that.
Nice morphs, by the way.
Yeah, but if I'm Cham here, I'd be like, hey, you actually have a lot of Roaches. Like, that's a lot of Roaches for somebody who's trying to play Mutalisk over here. And Cham does have a lot of Queens. I almost feel it's do or die time at this point for X. He's got a massive army supply lead. +2 is close to finishing up, but he needs to strike before Lurkers. And I almost wish he would have gone for the natural here. Because killing the fort base is not even good enough. He needs more than that, Ben. He needs to deliver the finishing blow.
He certainly does, and he's starting to get things rolling over here right now. All the Mutas are dead, and even though the supplies are very close, 20 of it is in extra workers for Cham, and right now Cham is on his front door. Those +2 melee upgrades, there aren't any melee units on the map for Cham, so they're kind of useless, and right now, Eggs is throwing absolutely everything that he can at Cham. Is he going to be able to bust through?
I have the feeling he's not. He's kind of running out of steam. The Ravagers are starting to go down as well. 2 of the Queens survive. I really wish that Axe would have grabbed that entire army and he would have gone into the natural. Don't forget he had Muda, so he cleared vision. There was no way for Cham to see that attack incoming. Instead, he dove on top of like 7 Queens that had a lot of energy, and they dropped so many transfusions during that battle. I'm afraid it's not really going to be enough. I do think it's indeed kind of funny that he's got +2 melee now and he's not making a single Zergling, but here we are. Axe is still going for it. He's still down 24 workers. He wants more. This looks a little bit better because I don't know what Cham's units are, Ben, but they are not here.
Oh, and getting on top of the Hydras before they can, like, actually be anything valuable, like a Lurker, or even having a bit of cannon fodder in front of them. It's getting a bit spicy.
This is really good. A lot of Cham's roaches were on the left side, but X needs to keep under pressure. He needs to keep taking victories. He lands a corrosive bow on Hydras as well. The drones are being pulled. This is a super important moment for Cham, but it seems like in the end he will be able to get enough units out. And now 2 lurkers are morphing too. And like we said before, X doesn't have a proper way to deal with lurkers. He has a couple Ravagers. Corrosive bow can sometimes get the job done. I might get that hatchery here. No, he doesn't get it yet. He doesn't want to stick around longer because he doesn't want to lose Ravagers. X is still just going for it. 40 drones.
This is absolutely bonkers by him, but upon seeing the lurkers, like...
Okay, I just want to know, Ben, is this the most useless +2 melee upgrade in the history of +2 melee?
Dude, I told you, like, why is he getting that? Like, I don't understand. He got the second Evo, wasn't getting the armor, and then it's like, can we get He's getting +3 melee. Oh! I think it was an error the whole time, because he started the +3 melee, and then he's kind of like, oh, what? Then he gets +2 range, then gets the carapace. Okay. Mate, that was... I don't know.
That would have been amazing. We get +3 melee with no Zerglings. X this time is actually taking a peek into the natural, but I think enough time has gone by. Cham is still up 13 workers. Cham is still up a hatchery. Don't ask me how that thing is still alive, but somehow it is. And that lurker count is going up. And then you don't want to run into lurkers with their roaches. You can avoid it. Maybe drop some corrosive balls here and there, but... Oh, this isn't really going anywhere.
No, it certainly isn't. And Cham, he's just defending well, I think. Like, maybe he could have... Does he have a lurker on top of that ramp as well? I mean, this is probably the base that feels most exposed right now, but there is quite a few lurkers there, even dodging the biles that Eggs is throwing out. Eggs, he's desperate at this point.
Yeah, he's running out of steam. Cham is feeling confident. He sets up a beautiful surround and he kind of flanks his army, moves forward. The lurkers get a couple of shots off. The Hydras are helping out as well. And the favorite Cham will deliver here as he takes the 1-0 lead on Eternal Empire, or if you're the Muslim, Eternal Palace.
You know, well played by Cham. It was an unusual game, to say the least. As soon as those Lings got in and scouted all those Zerglings, I feel that Eggs was already in a bit of a tight spot. Just as soon as something like that gets scouted, especially when you're trying to show something else with the Roach Warren and what have you. Yeah, it was just a very unusual game. I liked that Eggs was so decisive with his follow-ups. Like, oh, I've been scouted. Okay, I'm going to throw down 2 extra gases and go Spire. Then it was like, I'm going to go 5 Muta. Into now mass roaches. Like, it was bonkers, man. It was super bonkers.
No, this is something you draw out on not just like 1 sheet of paper, but like 17, you know? It's like you're just making this entire tree. I think that the mutas were part of the plan all along, because he did start the lair while he was already building up all those Zerglings. Like, I don't really know. I don't really know what we just watched. And then we had Cham rushing into +2 melee while having 8 Zerglings out on the map. It's like, it is what it is, you know. It was quite a game. If I could resume this game from replay, I wonder what happens if X shoves that army that he had, while the reinforcements into the natural. Rather than going for that crucial attack, Hero Marine would say game-deciding fight at the fort base, where all those queens were standing there. And yes, X had a few more units, but that's like 6 or 7 queens with an insane amount of energy. That wasn't the place to fight. In my opinion, he should have ran into the natural. And I believe the Roach one was just chilling there as well. Imagine if he snipes the Roach one, right?
No, certainly. It was also funny, given that there wasn't a melee unit on the map and +3 melee started for a moment, which I thought was super duper funny. Anyhow, getting into the second game of the series, spawning over in the bottom left, he's currently 0-1 down. It is Eggs.
Our Colombian youngster needs to bring it back on the top right side of Everdream. Look at the main base of the favorite. He had a rough series against Special, but he looked a lot better in that previous game. Hailing from Mexico, it's Cham.
Yeah, one thing that he definitely looked... Or one stage that really impressed me, and this always impresses me about good Zergs, is when they know when they can defend with very little. For example, the Zerglings and the Banelings, like just morphing in enough, and then eking out drones behind it. Because that was a lot of Lings, and that could be very scary. But he was very patient with his Banelings, never using them or squandering them at all, never letting his opponent take advantage of him. And Cham just stayed in a comfortable position from that point on.
You see Cham go for that kind of funny spawning pool, just in case that Axe would have gone for that 12 pool, drone pool. Cham can potentially wall off there, even though that's a dangerous wall off to go for. I've seen eGGz mess it up. I've seen Cero mess it up. So there's something special about walling off on the top side of Everdream, Ben. But, you know, Cham is like, just in case it happens, I think I can get it up.
Yeah, I like that about Zerg players. Like, it was a laser with the wall off that wasn't a wall off, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that was a great game.
Yeah, against Sue. I mean, that's really sad, right? Because that was such a close series. And Sue ended up winning TSL. Well, if eGGz takes that game. But Cero also did it in the grand finals of Stay at Home Steer Cup, which I think we actually missed. Yeah, we like pretty much missed most of it because he messed up the wall off twice. Because Take TV was doing a little sellout segment, and so they were like, "Oh my God, game mode is over!" And they're like, "Well, great production, guys." And I'm standing there, I'm like, nobody told me anything. I'm so sorry.
Like this game, X is going for that early Evo again. And I mean, I know the early Evo didn't really get much done the game prior, but he did start the +1 range last time to go into the roaches, right? Or was it +1 armor that he got?
No, I don't think X got any upgrades at first. He only got melee or missile upgrades. Actually, he had 2-0 roaches at one point, so he only got missile. I think this is a +1 melee kind of Evo, though. Nobody has ever gone missiles there in the back of your main base.
No, it's. I mean, it's obviously way more hidden in a place that you don't necessarily want to get scouted, right? He does have enough gas. I think he's going to go for carapace actually with this, given that the gas count's getting high enough for 150. We'll see what he chooses to do though. Maybe this is hoping that he does get scouted by a speedling at some point. I have no idea.
Yeah. And that's when he starts the +1 melee as a fake, and then he fires up carapace.
Can you imagine just then if it's like he kind of missed stutter steps with the queens? It's like, oh no, I let you in, and then he does something really crazy based on it being scouted. But no, that did not happen. And oh, it's actually Cham that starts off the +. Oh, no, it is X, sorry. My bad, he does start off 1 carapace.
Yep, so he goes for carapace. So this could be a Roach Zergling Ravager attack, right? Or just like almost pure Ravager Ling, where he just kind of like hit real quick. Now Cham is firing up 12 links, as he knows a couple of links already heading towards his side of the map. His hatchery has a lot of HP, so he's going to be safe. Look at the amount of Zerglings that Cham is producing. He's taking this very serious.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if after he kind of fends this off a little bit, if he'd launch some kind of counterattack. Because, I mean, the Baneling Nest isn't quite yet done for X, and that is definitely significant. It means no Banelings are being morphed in anytime soon. I mean, if he gets across the map very quickly here, and this is a lot of pressure being formed. More links as well being made. This is high pressure from Cham.
Yeah, but the thing is, Axe was also gearing up for an attack, so he should be fine. He's got a lot of units on the way. The Banelings are scary, though. The first Banes actually get a decent connection. The second one gets a really good one as well. That hatchery is starting to run low on HP. Oh my goodness, this is not a hatch you want to lose if you're going for the build that Axe is going for. And even I actually don't even think that Cham needs to really disengage there. I guess he's kind of worried about those Brooklings, which I can get behind. And maybe he's like, you know what? I'm satisfied with the damage I've done. Well, I have the feeling that Axe was already going to all in, and now I really think he's going to all in.
Certainly, but at least this time, Cham knows he's done enough damage that eGGz has to respond, right, with something quite devastating. So that at least gives Cham a bit of a heads up that his opponent, and he sees that there isn't like a third being reproduced or anything like that. Soon, if he starts clicking on these units, he's going to see the upgrade as well, because it is done in a few seconds.
Yep. All the roaches are going to hatch, but the roach warren for Cham is almost done. You know what? I blame Wadi. He didn't want to make a fun prediction, and this is what we get. Unfortunately, the builds for Axe are just not really working out, and it's just... Now, Cham is just not letting him do his thing, and that's kind of what happens when you go up against really good players. They won't let you do your thing.
Oh, no.
That hatchery did not get cancelled either. So things are going from bad to worse for Axe. He's trying to make magic happen with Zerglings on the other side of the map, but there are defensive Banelings. Ben, Axe is down a base, and he's down 13 workers, and he's even down an army supply. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he's doing an all-in here. It absolutely is. Like, one thing that Cham needs to realize fairly soon, I guess, is that he's against some... Oh, and he lost a few Banelings here to single Zerglings. That was nice by Cham. And eGGz, he's desperate at this point. He is marching across the map with all his roaches, morphing in the Banelings, but Cham, he is looking more than comfortable this game.
Yep, he's super ready. He knows what's happening. He's even going to get the safety spine. X is going to build a couple of drones behind this, which I find kind of interesting because he's super all in, and I think he knows it. He's going to try to make magic happen. We were worried about Cham after the previous series. He did not look good against Special. We know he can do better. Well, this was a really good series for Cham. I feel like he made almost all the correct calls. He is going to comfortably hold this while still dealing a little bit of damage on the other side of the map. Almost gets that queen. A 1 HP queen guy. Ben.
With 10 kills, by the way, that queen has lived a good life. Rank Ravager. Now, that is a good unit.
X is still wondering, it's like, can I get something done? Like, Cham, did you also, like, stop at a low drone count, perhaps? And it's like, well, kind of. But better than yours, X. He's been outmining you for the last few minutes. On top of that, it's been 3 bases against 2. These roaches are already taking quite a bit of damage. X is going to try to re-expand. I understand the fighting spirit here. This is Tournament Live on the line, making top 4 in the DreamHack Masters of Latin America. Would obviously be a very big achievement, but I'm afraid for X, it's not going to happen. Cham was just too good in this eGGz.
He certainly was, and it's like a different player showed up, right? Like against Special, he seemed quite... He just couldn't really keep up and wasn't really playing his usual self. But here, he seemed dominant right from the get-go. He did everything right that he needed to. Even this game, he played almost overly safe, like getting the lair, like respecting his opponent a lot, but not fearing him at all. It was just a very good Cham that turned up in this series.
No, especially I think in this game, I really like the way that he played this one. Didn't let X execute at all. He let X react to what he was doing. X was a little bit too late. The bailing movement was great. Obviously, the control and the detonations that he went for, they all worked out. That allowed him to pick up this hatchery. And I have the feeling that ever since that hatch went down, X was in all sorts of trouble. Cham is even getting a spy in now, because why the hell not, right? The icing on the cake, you may as well.
Yeah, okay, now he cancels it and gets the Hydralisk Den. I feel that Spire might have been playing with your food a little bit, and that would have been a really sucky way to potentially fall behind, but I feel the Hydra is just a much quicker, faster addition that more supports the army and the lead that he has. Although Cham is still, playing cautious, playing a bit scared. Does he have roach speed?
Cham does not have roach speed.
That is definitely something that could bite him in the bum later on.
I don't think it will, but it's an upgrade he should obviously have. It's a bit silly. Maybe he's forgetting about it. I understand. He's probably getting very excited about how well this game is going, and now he fires up roach speed, so he'll be okay. I mean, he's up in army supply, he's up in workers, he's going up to 4 bases way quicker than his opponent, and on top of that, this is going to be Roach Hydra. The only mistake, in my opinion, that Cham can really make in this game is never attack. Because if you give X the opportunity to max out, there is always a shot. And Cham really doesn't have to. Like, he should start moving out. He will be maxed out by the time he arrives on the other side of the map. Okay, looks so silly to see these amounts of slow roaches, but I guess that's just kind of what happens when you forget about roach speed. I just want to see him attack. I know I'm a fan of the when ahead, get further ahead, but that's in scenarios where you can't really end it, or it's risky to end it. If it's not risky to end, you should really end it, because why give your opponent an opportunity to max out, especially in such a volatile matchup like ZVZ, where corrosive balls can really turn fights.
No, I'm with you, Kev. Like, when ahead, get more ahead, sure, but when ahead, opponent's dead. Like, just go for it, Like, at this point, you're way more ahead than you should be, although 1-1 is coming in, the roach speed is coming in as well. I think... Oh, wow, and those banelings didn't really kill anything at all. I think... He's going to go soon. Interrupt
you. Yeah, another way why he should really go, or another reason rather, is that Cham has way more workers than X. So if he lets X max out, X's army is actually going to be like 15 supply bigger. So this is really go time for Cham. It's been go time for a little while. Now he spots that the army's out of position. He's going to split up his units. I mean, this can still get a little bit exciting. Obviously, Cham is in a super good spot, but he has made this pretty awkward for himself. Does get that hatchery, and that's obviously a great call. He's going to send a lot of units in the natural. If I'm X, I just chase that main army, and I try to win on the other side of the map and turn it into a base trade, because cleaning up this army and then trying to win is not going to happen. He should have just gone for it, and that's kind of what he's doing with a lot of units on the other side of the map, but he's also going to try to save his main band. He just lost all 3 bases.
I was about to say, when you start getting that like notification that you'll be revealed soon because you don't have a main, that sucks, especially when you're working on like the 4th and 5th bases of your opponent. Yeah, this is a decent army, a decent attack by Eggs, but there is just too much Cham. Look how rich he is behind all this too, getting his lurker upgrades, 20 roaches at once, 2-2 on the way. Has not rebuilt his base and he is being revealed. Sure, can't produce roaches anymore, but he can produce everything else. Cham, he's walking away with this one.
Yep, Axe made the best of this little army, but eventually the reinforcements are going to be a little too much to deal with. Roaches are coming in from every angle, and perhaps it took a little longer than it should have had, but GG gets called.